I've explored the Valley of the Moon Trail many times over the last 8 years. It has some incredible scenery, extremely fun and challenging obstacles, an old gold mine, and the infamous Smuggler's Den. I haven't been out here in a long time though, and now it looks like they might have closed some of the best parts of the trail. We need to see what we can find out today. There's a little chill in the air. I think desert season is just about here, guys. Today I am in Yacuma, California, and I am gonna go visit a trail that I have not been to in a long time. This is Valley of the Moon, and I used to come out here all the time. I love this trail, but it's been years. And so what I'd like to do today is kind of get reacquainted with this trail, and I really want to document it like I've never documented before. You know, if you watch some of the early videos here on TrailRecon, they're a little different than the way I film things today. And so today we're really going to pay close attention to some of the details out on the trail. And there's a lot of cool things to see out here. There's an old mine and some really cool obstacles, and we're just gonna have a blast today, guys. So let me air down and let's get after it, because it's gonna be fun today. Here we go, guys. Today is gonna be a great day. I have a lot of memories from Valley of the Moons, from folks that I've been with breaking down and having to do repairs long into the night, camping out here with friends and family, night runs with the San Diego Jeep Club, and I've also filmed many short video segments out here using this unique landscape. It's been a while since I've been out here, and things have changed a little. Now, Valley of the Moon's trail, depending on which direction you take and what places you decide to stop at and check out, is about 19 miles. You can do this as a loop, or you can do it as an out and back. It is a difficult trail. There are some deep ruts, narrow shelf roads, a couple large waterfalls, and plenty of rocks to traverse. It can be navigated in a four-wheel drive with oversized tires and high clearance, but I recommend at least a rear locker. Today, though, I noticed there were several changes to the terrain since I was last here. The rains have really eroded a lot of the sections of trail, and there are a lot more exposed rocks. But before I get to the good stuff, I need to work my way through this wide open sand. I did notice a couple miles in that I'm seeing more closed roads and no trespassing signs. I know the power plant here messed things up a few years ago with some of the tracks we could access, but now I'm seeing new closures that I hadn't noticed before. The trail does run along the US and Mexico border, and I used to be able to drive right along the fence, but now there is a very specific section of trail about 40 yards from the fence in between the power plant you need to stay on. It's only about a half mile, and then things will open back up. All right, I've just stopped for a moment to make sure that I'm on the right track. There's a lot of no trespassing signs, private property signs, signs that didn't used to be out here years ago. And I have my track, and I think we're good. I'm just double checking to make sure that that I'm not going anywhere I'm not supposed to, but we're okay. We're gonna make it up this mountain. The good news is if we had to turn around, there is a totally another access to Valley of the Moons. This is just the fun way to get in. We will come out the normal way that you can do it, but I think we're good. Just off in the distance, I can see the old rusted TV that's been sitting on top of a rock pile for longer than I've been coming out here. It's a fun little landmark that lets you know you're getting ready to climb the mountain, although I'm not sure I'm going to be climbing today. All right, a little Valley of the Moons mission update. I think I'm gonna have to turn around. So, for years, I used to come up this way with all my friends, and we would go up this mountain. There's a beautiful little trail that kind of hugs the ridgeline. There's some fun obstacles in there. You go up and down, and it takes you in the backside near Smugglers Cove. The problem is that there are no fresh tire tracks here at all. It doesn't look like anybody's been here in a long time. And there is a Border Patrol sign here that says, warning, no trespassing, keep out. Those signs didn't used to be here. So I think I'm gonna play it safe here, do the right thing, and I'm gonna backtrack and go the other entrance into Valley of the Moons, which just means a little bit of extra driving, but I'm gonna see how far I can get on the other side before we reach a sign. I'd be curious to see what sections they've actually blocked off. Kind of a bummer, but that's the state of the Valley of the Moons mission today. I really hate seeing trails closed, and while I'm not confident this trail is actually closed, and could be lots of reasons that sign is laying there, I just want to verify before I venture up and do the right thing. But for today, I'm just gonna head a couple miles back down the trail and a short drive on the road, and I will meet the entrance on the other side of Valley of the Moons. Oh wait, here's somebody that might be able to help.
How you doing, man? You mind if I ask you a question about access? So I was just on the back side of the Valley of the Moon, and we used to go up there for years. All right, guys, I have great news. I just stopped and talked to one of the Border Patrol agents out here. Super helpful. He knows this area like the back of his hand. And I was showing him on my map where I was at just a little while ago and said, hey, has this area been closed? Can I still access it? And he said, no. He's like, I don't know why that sign is there. He's like, but if you can get up there, you can do it. So he's been up there before. He said on foot, he's never driven up there. He's like, oh yeah, you'll be fine. I mentioned that I've been up that way many times. In fact, when I was on the board with the San Diego Jeep Club many years ago, we were actually sponsored this trail. We helped get the kiosk for this trail posted so folks had an idea of the area. The kiosk is still up, and I looked on the sign and it's still accessible according to the kiosk. So I think we're all good. We could have kept going that way, but now I've just driven so far out of the way. I'm gonna take you guys up the backside, and what we will do is we will go out the way we started to come in. It'll still be fun. Not quite as much fun. Going down's a little easier than climbing up, but we'll still have a little fun. But we're gonna head up here and go check out Smugglers Cove. All right, well, climbing up this mountain today is a lot of fun. This trail is washed out significantly. There are some big exposed rocks, and over the years they've come in here and done some patching with some concrete, and a lot of that is just washed out. So there's some pretty big holes. You really got to kind of pay attention. It didn't used to be that way. We've had a lot of rain this last year, so I can imagine that this is just eroded like crazy with all that water that's probably flowed down it. But we're just about to the top, and I'm excited to see what's to come, because again, I haven't been up here in a while, and this is already fun. Minus having to turn around. It's a lot of fun. What an absolutely beautiful day. I'm having a blast today. Even the fact that I had to turn around, no worries. Okay, so we come to a fork in the trail. So if we go to the right, that will be the way that we were coming in originally. So that's the way we're gonna leave today. And if we go to the left here, that's gonna take us to Smugglers Cove. the gold mine, some beautiful scenery, some nice fun obstacles. So we're gonna go that way, go explore, and then on our way out, we will go that way. But you have the option of doing this really any way you want, guys, which is really cool. Plus there's some other trails out here as well, especially on the other side of the freeway. So you can really spend a couple days out here exploring. So, all right, let's go see what we find.
I really am enjoying this overcast sky and these mild temperatures this morning, but the wind is starting to pick up just a little bit. The scenery here is so special. The large boulders that are scattered across the landscape are very unique, not like any other trail in this area, and makes you feel like you're on the moon. This next section is a steep descent and it's very rutted out. It seems to get more and more rutted out as the years go by. The easier line is to stay to the right. If you want to get really flexy, you can go to the left. I kind of stayed in the middle here today just to play it safe. It's a fun little descent, but being in 4-low and not riding your brakes is very important, but we will talk more about that later. At the bottom, I did run into a fellow Jeeper that was out here scattering the ashes of his dog that had recently passed away. I think this is an amazing place to be laid to rest. All right, just a few more miles to go, and I'll be at my first stop.
All right, behind me is a wilderness boundary, and beyond that is a little hiking trail that'll take us to Smugglers Cove. It's worth checking out if you've never been here. It's a pretty cool little spot. Plus, it's just a good opportunity to kind of stretch your legs and take a break. We still have a lot to see, but I'm gonna take a little hike. What do you say?
It's about a half-mile rugged hike up to Smuggler's Den. Now, there are a few stories and some myths about how the Smuggler's Den got its name, and most are centered around bandits that used this as a place to hide out and stash their treasure in the early 1900s. But I couldn't find any reliable sources. If anyone out there has a quotable source about this den, I'd love to hear about it in the comments.
So you can see, it's a pretty good sized cave. There's obviously been some folks that have camped in here, had some campfires because the walls are all charred. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of trash on the ground. But it's a pretty cool little spot to come check out. Good opportunity to just get out here, stretch your legs, and take a break. Plus, there are wild horses out here. I have been told I have never seen them, but on the hike in here, there is a lot of evidence of them on the ground. And so I know they're out here. And one of these days, I hope to see some wild horses. All right, as much as I'd like to just chill and relax, we need to get going. We have a lot of terrain to cover, so let's head out. Well, the wind is really kicked up, and out here in the desert, you just never know what to expect. So no wild horses. That's kind of a bummer. I was really looking for them. I probably need to come out here and just plant myself for a while with some binoculars. I'll bet I would see them. I'm gonna go ahead and just have lunch now real quick. It's just afternoon, and I'm not having anything fancy, just PB&J and some water. So imagine that, nothing fancy for me. Look, There's something I want to answer. Folks were asking me about the setup in the back of the Jeep Wrangler JK, and it has taken me years to get this dialed. I've gone through a lot of different changes, but I really like these soft boxes from Front Runner. It just allows me to keep all my kitchen gear, cleaning stuff, utensils, coffee stuff, very neat and organized, and they're just easy to pack. Plus the Dometic water system. It's a 4-gallon water container with an electric Dometic water faucet. That thing, I've been using that for over a year now, and I really am impressed with that. So those are two things that I use frequently when I'm packing out for long trips or just day trips. And if you are interested in any of those things or anything to outfit your vehicle, go check us out over at TrailRecon.com and really appreciate it. All right, let me down this sandwich, down some water, and we're gonna hit the trail.
You know, sometimes it's nice when the terrain dictates that you go a little bit slower. And it forces you to kind of soak in your surroundings a little bit more. It really is just beautiful here, and there's so much thick plant life all around. I'm sure that's what drew the Kumeyaay, the indigenous people that lived here for thousands of years, to this area. What it must have been like to live in these mountains in the harsh summers and the cold winters, to hunt and gather and live off the land. A hard life, but simple, I imagine. In more recent history, there were folks living out here like James Elliott, a local prospector who had a mining claim at the top of one of these mountains. He was looking to strike it rich, searching for gold, and that's where I'm heading next. All right, I am slowly climbing up towards Elliott Mine. This is a pretty technical climb. It's steep, it's rutted, and there's some pretty big exposed rocks, and you just want to choose your line very carefully as you're working your way up. But I think that's something that I want to talk about. Is I'm in 4-low, sway bar disconnected, I'm not locked, but a lot of folks don't use 4-low, I think, when they should. Especially when you're slow climbing like this, there's no reason to be in 4-high. Put it in 4-low and let the vehicle just do its thing, especially when you're descending. I was with a group of folks the other day. I was watching all their brake lights, and I was barely tapping my brakes because I had it in 4-low in first gear, and I was just working my way down and barely touching the brakes. So just something to think about when you're climbing or you're descending. 4-low is a good tool. Now, if you need to get like a running start in the sand or something, you definitely want to be in 4-high so you can get some good power and speed. But 4-low is such a good asset, guys. If you make your way up here, know that it is very steep, narrow, and there are a few ruts that are going to put you off camber as you climb up. At the top, there's a small rock climb, but the views once you reach the top make it all worth it. You can see for miles up here. The main entrance to the mine is just a short walk, and I made my way inside the mine many years ago, but it looks like the hole has gotten a little bit smaller, and since I'm by myself, I'm just not going to be playing around and entering the cave. There is another cave access just a little bit further down, but if you want to go inside this one, you're going to have to crawl on your hands and knees. If you look around, you'll see some old trailing piles from when they were digging the mine out, and there's a few artifacts. It's a lot to see up here, but the wind today is blowing pretty hard. So I'm going to start making my way back towards where I started this morning. Let's see if I can find that old TV sitting on the rocks.
So super steep right now, and I am in 4 low. I've got it in first gear. My foot is not even touching the brake. I'm just crawling. Now, if you have, hill descent control, that might help if you like doing that. But honestly, I prefer just having control of it myself and not allowing the vehicle to have control. But whatever you're comfortable with. But the important thing is you don't want to just ride the brakes going down something like this. You want to have full control of the acceleration, the engine, your speed. And if I tap my brakes, it's easy for me to come to a stop because I'm already going pretty slow and my brakes aren't getting heated up. All right guys, this is that pretty steep descent that we came down this morning, and if you hug the right side, it's pretty rutted out. So I'm in 4 low again, so I can just kind of crawl up this. I may need a locker. We'll see how it goes. Generally, if you know you're going to need a locker, you should just go ahead and put it on because it's less stress on your vehicle. I think I might work my way through this without a locker. Yeah, I think we're going to be okay. We're getting super flexy. A little slip right there. There we go. Just turned the tire just a little bit. Came right out of it. It got some traction. No problem. It's good to know your vehicle's abilities, guys, and so it's fine to take the easy line, but once in a while, just see if you can do it. Kind of test yourself a little bit. Stuff like that can be a whole lot of fun. You're not putting yourself at a lot of risk. You're just trying to crawl through some ruts and see how you can do it. And well, we did it, no problem. Good rocks here. This is definitely more washed out. Rocks are more exposed than I'm used to, but I'm not complaining. It's fun. It's not super technical, but tire placement is key today, that's for sure. Oh yeah, no problem.
Okay, now I've reached one of two of the waterfalls that I need to climb down. Now, if we were doing this the opposite direction, we'd be going up this. This one is pretty smooth and straight down, but I'm gonna slide a little bit, I already know, but it's always good to get a good look and just see what your line is first. So do you guys remember that old TV on the rocks from this morning? Well, it's right up there. We made it full circle on Valley of the Moons. I'm so excited that I was still able to access the entire trail. I love this trail. I'm so glad you guys joined me. This was so much fun today. Please, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And until next time, safe travels.